Hey there, it's David with Yellow Weld. I'm jumping in to do a quick video on framed glass doors and framed glass accent walls. These are becoming more common as a way of partitioning off space in a residential setting or in a commercial setting. I think that they're a really classy option that's going to age really well. They're a really good way of maximizing your natural lighting and opening up a space, or even just the perceived openness of a space. So I think that they're a really good option for a lot of applications. But right now we're seeing them a lot for sectioning off home offices as well as home gyms, particularly common right now. But they can also be a useful alternative to the more classic cubicle design in office spaces. So choosing the right contractor for your project is going to depend on mostly the typical factors: budget, timeline, style. The right contractor will help navigate the design, material selection, and any logistics that are going to have to come into play to make sure the process is smooth and easy to understand. So frame glass doors and accent walls, they need to be really well designed. And this is because they are going to be completed, like prefabricated, powder coated, and then they're going to be brought into the space and installed in panels. So having them as manageable sizes is going to be really important to make sure that the fit and finish is good. And it's also going to depend, on how the glass can go in. So it's really important that everything stays really flat and square. Glass is particularly unforgiving in these types of imperfections in the frame. So careful planning and prefabrication is particularly important here. Choosing the right hardware and finish is going to be what really ties it into your existing space. So most often we see a matte black powder coat. That's really popular, but you can get powder coating in all types of colors. So it's very doable if you wanted to match a color palette that's existing, or match any hardware that's existing in your home. So for cost, we're going to be jumping into that here. I'm going to talk more specifically about my personal cost on these. In the article below, it helps us do just a more thorough analysis of this. But what I can say is what I was able to find online for prefabricated kits from companies that, this is really their bread and butter and it's what they do. To fabricate it without installation or delivery, we are seeing about $120 to $130 a square foot. So our price is going to be higher than that because everything that we do is custom and one of a kind, built to the dimensions of the space, and it's going to include installation and delivery and all of those different things. But what I would expect is that a design retainer is going to come into play here in most cases. And that's really just because there's a lot of different factors that go into this. So the degree of the trim and finish work that needs to be done, squareness of existing walls, floors, and ceilings, and then the intricacy of the glass work. So what's really common to see is a bunch of identical rectangular panes. This is a cost-effective way to do this. As you go to more unique shapes and sizes where there aren't identical panes, that's going to drive up the cost of the glass. It may be worth it for your particular design if that's something that you're attached to, but for a simple rectangular identical pattern across, that's going to be your most cost-effective option for that. So when we collect a design retainer, what that's really just doing is we give a ballpark. If the ballpark looks good, then we go into a design phase, and at the end of the design phase, when we've really settled on what it is that we're looking for, we dial in a really concrete price that we move forward with. And so any design retainer would get credited to the project when we move forward. So any pricing that we talk about below in the article is going to be an out-the-door cost covering estimation, design, material, fabrication, finish, install, 1-year warranty, the whole works. So some special considerations that are coming to play here. like any other job, there are certain things that may fall outside of what is typical. And so our pricing would have to be flexible for those things, such as, our travel or, installation time. If you're 5 hours away, it's going to be more expensive than if you're right in our backyard. So some things like that will come into play. And though this is a fairly straightforward endeavor, material selection, design, size, finish, ease of install are all going to, play factors in here. So accessibility is going to become important if we're bringing in larger panes or larger panels for this install. For more decorative projects, design retainer becomes even more important so that we can really dial in to a concrete price, as well as, settling on your perfect aesthetic and what the design is that you're truly looking for. So that's kind of all the basic ones that we can touch at face value. If you have any more questions, please contact us. We're happy to talk through this project with you. Take care.